Hello and welcome to Coding with Jess, where you code along with me while I build a thing. Today I am trying something a little bit different, or maybe very different. We are live streaming from Curie Beach, North Carolina. I am sitting on a porch of the beach house where we often come. There's our kind of the view. My family's down there hanging out underneath the tents, or not tents, the umbrellas and such. And so thought I'd try the live stream from here. I also have, normally there might be a little bit of background noise right now, and I could actually disable that using some audio filtering. I normally do that when I'm in my office. But I thought you might enjoy the sound of the waves and maybe a little bit of wind noise, and actually there's a plane flying overhead right now, so we'll try it. Might be interesting, might not. Also today, which is a little unusual, is instead of working on coding, which I normally work on, I'm actually going to be working on my personal note-taking setup. So right now I've been using Bear application, or Bear app on Mac for many years, and before that I was using, what was I using right before that? Notational Velocity Alt maybe, and then Notational Velocity, or maybe it was that, and then Simple Note, and then Bear, I don't know. I've been through multiple iterations of note-taking applications for the last 10 years or so. And recently I started moving over to Obsidian, and so I got that mostly set up, but there's still some things around my Obsidian setup that are a little bit wonky, and I want to make sure that the imports went well. So that's what we're going to be working on today. If that's not your thing, note-taking applications, then feel free to peace out. And if the beach is not your thing, feel free to peace out and join me next week when I'll be back in my office with the nice big setup and the weird sloping roof thing behind me and all that. So cool. Well, for those of you who are gonna hang out for today, thanks for joining me on Coding with Jess. And as you know, a couple logistical things. I will be watching the YouTube chat, or trying to watch the YouTube chat as we go. It's a little bit of a different setup here right now. And so if you want to interact that way, you can. I'll respond there. And then the other thing is that this is going to be a 2-hour work block, I think, if I last that long in the heat here. So we're going to divide that work block into 4 25-minute pomodoros. So I'm going to put 25 minutes on the clock. We'll work for 25 minutes, and then we will take a break for 5 minutes, and then I'll be back for more pomodoro action. All right, so let's see if we can get I don't have my second computer set up today, so you might see a little bit more flashing in and out of the YouTubes and such than you would normally see, but that is the deal. All right, let's go ahead and bring up a Pomodoro timer and start this thing up, and we will get cranking. All right, as I mentioned, today we are going to be working on my personal note-taking setup, which I've been migrating from Bear application to Obsidian. And I wanted to start off, before jumping into it, by talking a little bit about 2 things. One, my goals for this setup, and then 2, sort of my general workflow around the way that I use Bear and the way that I intend to use Obsidian. So, like I mentioned, I've been using note-taking apps for 10 years. My usage of them has definitely evolved over that time. But the main kind of workflow for me is I take daily notes in this longer note. I guess I take monthly notes, right? Or rather, I take daily notes inside of a single monthly note that I can scroll back through the days. Back in the day, before the advent of daily notes everywhere, Bear application didn't have anything like that, and so we would. So I just kind of simulated Bear daily notes before they were a thing in here, and have been doing this for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now. So I have monthly notes going back about 4 or 5 years with entries by day. Let me see if I have any actual day entries here. I don't. Sometimes this becomes also kind of like a scratch pad, where if I need to quickly type something, I just go to the monthly note, and it doesn't even have the subdivided day entries. And then what I'll usually do is come back in and clean this up later. So this would be, let's see, this was last Friday. Was that what this was? 09. Let's see. Let me pull up a calendar real quick. Last Friday would have been the 2nd. All right, so Let me see if I have any other windows open. I don't. Okay, cool. So back over to here. So yeah, then I'd go back and mark this as this happened on Saturday, or on last Friday, and then you can kind of see when I had these different thoughts when I worked on these various things. And this was also, this was last Thursday, which would have been the 1st. So I would come down here and tag that. Okay, so that's one thing I do is I take daily notes this way. The other thing I do in Bear is, well, I do all my long form writing in Bear, but that's kind of like neither here nor there. Let's not talk about that real quick. Let's talk about more note-taking things. Another thing that I do is I'll write up sort of what you might call evergreen notes, or like things about topics. So an example would be like this hiring is broken one. So this was some thoughts that I put together around hiring and ways that it's broken. This would be something that I can pull back, like turn back to as a reference if I'm thinking about ways that hiring is broken. It could also turn into an article. So for example, I've kind of got the outline of an article here already. Like hiring is actually organizational design, discovery, assessment, and onboarding. And those are the main topic areas that you need to think about. And so like, if I were to like expand an article into like how to hire well, I would focus on these like main areas and fleshing each one of these out. But then I also have sort of other notes around interviews. Like these are like fully written paragraphs. So anyway, I've got, I don't know, 1,000 of these or more, these little notes that I have in Bear. And so I want to bring, that's another way that I use Bear. Let's jump back over to September. And what you just saw, where I just did that like autocomplete thing, that's another way that I use Bear. So I have like this little, I use my note-taking applications. It isn't specific to Bear necessarily, but I can hit Command Space, bing, and I get this little quick launcher. And then in this quick launcher, I can hit BS, which is Bear Search, which searches my entire, free text searches my entire notes, prioritizing things that are more recent, which is actually kind of cool. So like immediately it shows me like the things that I edited more recently. And you can see kind of just looking at this that in the last couple days, here are things that I've been thinking about. This guy Bartos, explorable explanations, provocations is a singular work, is an idea that I'm working around. My job description at Fission, like how do I think about what I do? Experimental test pilots, this is like a new analogy that I've been thinking about for research work. And then Jeff Griffiths is somebody I work with at Fission. So you can kind of see like these are things that I've been recently, but then I can also free text search across all things. So provocations, looks like I've written about them all in all of these places. If I can search for research. And this allows me to very quickly get to my notes. So I already talked about daily notes here. Let's see, workflow. And then let's use the good form here, 2022-09. What's today's date? I keep forgetting, the 7th? Yeah, 7th. Normally I have that on the wall in my office, but I am clearly not in my office right now. All right, daily notes. So yeah, I'll take daily notes. I want to be able to search across all my notes with Alfred or Raycast or some command spacebar thingy. Doesn't really matter what it is, as long as the workflow allows me to very, very quickly open the thing up. And that's, I want to be able to get in and type that quickly. So, whoops, back over to Bear again. Another thing I'm liking about Obsidian, which is not true in Bear, is being able to edit in Vim mode. Being able to use the same setup in my note-taking editor that I use in my VS Code and everywhere else, and when I'm using text is really helpful. So I'm looking forward to that. Something I'd like to set up. So I also sync notes across all my devices. I do take notes on my phone sometimes when I'm out and about, especially when I go walking in the neighborhood, which happens quite often. And so having those when I'm out and about is super important to do. So then those are things that already are true. Yeah, let me see. There we go. I already organize my to-dos by week. I usually do like weekly planning and we'll set things out for the week, but it could be that Obsidian would allow me to do that more in a nicer way. And then this would be like a wish list item. Hitting save publishes my public notes. So I have something I haven't like really publicized, even though I've published, I've got this notes page that you'll notice that it looks very similar to Andy Matuszak's notes page, if you've ever gone through that, where I've like made some of my writings public, and they're deeply nested and hyperlinked so that you can like click through and that kind of stuff. I'd love for this to be automatically published. Right now this is like manually done via GitHub. It requires a lot more work than I'd like, and it has some bugs in it like that one. So I don't know that we'll get to this today, but we might, because we've made a lot of progress already in terms of setting up Obsidian. Okay, so that's what we're going to try and work on today. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then I guess the main thing to do today, like I've mentioned before, it's good to start with like a to-do list. Freshly migrate things from Bear to Obsidian. I did a migration about a month ago and configured Obsidian and got it all kind of set up and running. And then I went back to using Bear for a variety of reasons. And so this would be the hard cutover today. Like, let's go ahead and migrate things over. One of the reasons is migrate images and attachments from Bear. This is actually a little bit more complicated. This is actually a little more complicated than just like standard text files. So we'll have to go through some steps there. Hey buddy, I'm live streaming right now. I can't help you, okay? My 4-year-old asked for help with his life vest. I may have to pause you guys and come back and help him. Million Grad asks if I have Bear Premium. I do have Bear Premium, and I've had it for a while. It's been, or Bear Pro, I guess is what they call it. Bear has been absolutely fantastic software. I've really enjoyed it. Like, there's a couple things that Obsidian gives me that I'm migrating for, but really, I wish Bear would just add them, and then I would get to continue to use Bear. All right, so we're going to freshly migrate notes from Bear to Obsidian, migrate images and attachments from Bear, and then set up Alfred, Raycast, Finder, what do we call it? Quick note search or something like that. One of the things I tested out a month ago was making sure that the quick search in Obsidian was as fast and as good as Bear, because that's like my main workflow. I probably hit Command Space Bar BS space like probably 25, 50 times a day. And so having that be slow would be a major setback and may not be worth all the other stuff. So let's get that quick note search set up. I believe it is already set up, but let's just verify that it is. So now we're like I'm working my way through this list down here. Ensure files sync between devices would be another thing I believe is already set up and I get for free, but we should look at it anyway. And then look into how to organize to-dos automatically by week. So one thing I'm doing right now in Bear is I'm very manually creating a set of to-dos in my monthly notes on a weekly basis, and then what's happening is if a to-do item gets added in another note that is not my monthly note, it does not get pulled in, and it often gets lost. And so it'd be nice if it did. Awesome job, buddy.
I washed off my hands.
Great. My 4-year-old's telling me all about it. He got his life vest off. Awesome work. All right, so let's jump into it. So let me show you my Obsidian setup. You've already kind of seen my Bear setup a little bit. Here we go, Obsidian. I'm also curious how much my computer can actually take right now, in the sense that I am running Streamlabs as well, in addition to, and streaming, in addition to running Obsidian and all the things. We'll see. This is an 8 megabyte MacBook Air, but these MacBook Airs are freakish in their ability to work with small amounts of RAM. All right, so let's see. This is the current Bear setup. I did some things using Bear that I don't know if I love or not. What's up, Brent? Welcome to the live stream. Haven't seen you in a while, man. And we should definitely hang out soon. Yeah, I had a feeling saying something like Bear, Obsidian, some configuration of personal note-taking might instantiate a Bryn Anderson, and sure enough it did. Cool, so here is our Bear setup. I am using J and K to move up and down right now, so yay to Vim mode. I think Command P is the... Can I go to files this way? It's so funny what I don't even know. Nope. Let's see, Command O, I think. That's it. Yeah. Cool. So I can move up and down using Vim mode, which is pretty great. I've got the... yes, I've got... All right. One thing I don't love is like this sidebar. I might have to like nuke the sidebar. I don't really need to see all 1,000 notes that I have over here on the left. And if I do see them, I want to see them organized by time at which I edited them, not the other thing. And I'm sure that's configurable. Everything is configurable in Obsidian. All right, so let's see where we are. Whoa, don't need to open that up. Back over to Bear. Okay, we need to do a fresh migration from Bear to Obsidian. Now there was a note that I found, an article I found about migrate Bear to Obsidian, about doing the images, and I think if we're going to need to like reference that as we do this migration in order to accomplish the next thing appropriately as well, get images and attachments set up. All right, I think this might be it. How to successfully move notes from Bear to Obsidian. At least Google is telling me I have been here before, and which might mean that it might be the place we need to go, or it might be one that I looked at and said no. All right, the instructions are divided into 3 parts: before exporting, before importing, and after importing. You got to rename tags with spaces, rename notes with forbidden characters, move encrypted notes, which I don't have any of. Before importing to an, yeah, already got that. Check the export attachments option. Yep. I don't care about exporting archive notes. Don't group attachment folders yet. Okay. After importing notes, move attachment folders to a separate folder, fix broken links, fix broken images, move attachment folders to a separate folder. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the one that I referenced before. It looks pretty complete and also pretty short. So let's just jump in and see how we go. Casper asks on the chat, like, wondering whether you considered Roam. I did actually look at Roam, Casper, and played with it for a couple weeks. I also played with Logseek for about a week or so. And what I found from both of those things, or what I learned from both of those things, is that I absolutely hate outliners. For whatever reason, my brain just does not work in, like, I do use a lot of bulleted lists, but forcing me into a bulleted lists all the time mode was really uncomfortable for me. And so I know that you can break out of that somehow and like you think of top level bullets as like paragraphs or whatever, but tools that are oriented around outlines, which Roam, Logseek definitely fit into that, they just broke my brain and proved to be extremely frustrating. So I decided that I'm glad that those tools exist, and people who think that way should definitely use them. But yeah, great question. Let's see. So how to successfully move notes? Let's do this. Then over here in Bear, we can go to, let's see, I believe it's under File, Export Notes. Okay, I think I need to actually select all of my notes before I do this. Let's see. Let's open the main window in Bear. Open that. Select all, which we've got 1,119 notes here. So here we go. Not right click, but File, Export Notes. All right. Yeah, this is my test Bear export from a while back. Let's see, where's the file new folder? There it is, new folder. Bear export, this will be 2022-09-07. I totally wanted to call it like Bear export final, the real one. How many times am I gonna do the cutover from Bear to Obsidian, or Bear to something else. That's the real question. Is this really the day that I'm actually going to finish it? Oh, goodness. All right, so export is marked down. We do want to export attachments. I do not want to merge notes into a single file, although that would be a hilariously long file. So we're going to hit export notes. Bear's going to chugga, take its SQLite database and turn all those things into individual markdown files. While that's going through here. Oh, wait, I forgot some things. Doe. Jess, follow the instructions. All right, rename tags with spaces. Do I have any tags with spaces? I don't even know. I don't think so. That would not be like me to use space tags. Oh no, Bear is now like chugga. And so I'm not going to be able to, there's no way to cancel this. I could force quit, but I'm not going to. Rename notes with forbidden characters. I might have some forbidden character notes. I don't have any encrypted notes, so that'll be, oh, there we go, Bear's done. Let's go see if we have tags. So tags are over here. Boop. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like this one, for example, I used dashes, home, journal, dashes, partnerships, work. Yep, looks like I pretty consistently use dashes everywhere. Cool, we good there. What was the other thing? Notes with forbidden characters. Well, it doesn't give me an exhausted list of what these forbidden characters are. Let's see. So how would I know whether I have notes with forbidden characters or not? Let's see. Obsidian. Casper in chat says, haha, I'm an outliner, it would seem. My longer form still lives in Windows Notepad after Shiruspad died of old age. Shirusupad? I don't know that one. Didn't realize why some things did not want to fit in there, outline versus long form. Probably good explanation. Yeah, it's a thing. Like an outliner, you either work that way or you don't. It's, oh, this is forbidden characters of file names. So this is actually a macOS thing. Forbidden, because remember we're taking the SQLite database that Bear stores all this stuff in, and then we are turning those into files on the desktop, which is now in the folder called Bear Export Final for Reals, actually this one. And in this one, there would be, Bear would have to, I'm sure Bear already handles this in terms of like turning illegal characters into something else, but I don't know what that something else would be. Probably on a, I think what this is mainly doing is making sure that when I pull it into Obsidian that the file name looks the same way as it looks in Bear, but I don't really care. It's fine. Like, I'll discover it quickly enough in Obsidian if it looks really different. All right, so there's our export. Let's see what is next. No tags to rename, no notes to rename, no encrypted notes. Before importing notes to Obsidian, export as MD files. Check export attachments, we did that. We don't care about archive notes. Now, when all your notes are in a local folder, you can open them as an Obsidian vault. All right, let me see. What I'd like to do probably is delete the vault that I have in Obsidian. How does one do that? I'm going to make this interface a little bit bigger for those of you who are following along via the live stream. Come on now. How do I... So I guess vaults are over here on the left as a thing. There they are. Open another vault. What does that even mean? Open another vault. Ah, okay, cool. That gives me my list of vaults. Whoops. I didn't mean to click that so quickly. All right, so we've got two vaults here. One is users, Jess Martin, Dropbox, and then we have the iCloud vault here. Reveal fault in System Explorer. Okay, that really is a test vault. Let's go ahead and delete that vault if that's possible. Oh, come on now. Goodness. Okay, so that I accidentally clicked on that, which opened a brand new window in Obsidian. Can I close this window? I can. There we go. So back over here to open another vault. Yeah, let's remove this from the list. All right, and so it looks like our main one is stored in user Jess Martin Dropbox. Okay, that's actually going to be a problem, unfortunately. So what's going on with using, okay, if we want to sync across different devices, the only way to currently sync onto iOS devices is to use iCloud. And so using users Jess Martin Dropbox as a location for a vault would work fine for syncing, using Dropbox as the syncing layer to sync between multiple Macs or Windows or whatever, anything, anywhere that Dropbox can be installed natively. So in order for us to actually synchronize over to iOS, I'm going to need to create a vault in iCloud and use that. So I think some of the vaults, can I move this vault to, so a couple things here. One, I've already, you might have noticed when I opened a second vault that like all the interface changed. It's because settings appear to be in Obsidian tied to vaults in some way. I think they're actually maybe even stored in the vault. Like I think if we go to reveal this vault in System Explorer, there's like a .obsidian directory, there it is. And this .obsidian directory, I think, has all of the things that are related to the configuration of that vault. So what I think we'll need to do, one, this vault is out of date. Like I mentioned, I migrated this over maybe 2 months ago, something like that. So we're gonna need to get rid of it anyway. And we're gonna need to create a new vault in iCloud. Apparently you can just do it that way. Obsidian. Okay, cool. The iCloud Vault Creator interface is a little bit different on the phone than it is on the computer, and I kind of expected it to mirror what was on the phone, but you know, that's what you get for open source software. Let's see. Let's go ahead and make sure that we're running the most recent version. Check for updates. Your app is up to date. Great. Installer version appears to be latest enough. Go run the updates on our community plugins. Check for updates there. Update all. The reason I'm doing this, by the way, is I just mentioned that all of the settings are stored in that .obsidian directory, and what we're likely going to do is like drag that .obsidian directory over onto our new vault in order for it to be configured appropriately. So I just wanted to run all the updates and everything before I did that, just to try to avoid any potential problems in this migration. All right, so let's go ahead and create a new vault, and this will be Jess Martin is going to be the vault name, real creative. And this time we'll browse to iCloud Drive, Obsidian. Whoa! All right, there's our first Pomodoro break. All right, welcome back to Coding with Jess, and where we are now coding today from, well, coding, working on some stuff from the beach. So if you're just tuning in, this is Curie Beach, North Carolina. Curie Beach, North Carolina. And yeah, we're hanging out working on migrating from Bear application to Obsidian. And we've been digging into that for one Pomodoro so far, which is one 25-minute work block. We're gonna do one more work block here. And yeah, or three more. I also decided, since we are at the beach, that may be appropriate to consume a delicious beverage while working. So cheers to you. If you're somewhere where you can also grab a delicious beverage, I encourage you to do so. Okay, so jumping back in, let's see. We are in the middle of creating a new Obsidian vault, and I was just referring to the reality that we have to store this in iCloud in order to get the appropriate behavior we want. So inside Obsidian, I'm going to create a new folder. We'll just call it Jess Martin, super original, and hit open, and I guess that will do the thing. It says your new vault will be placed in that. Sure. Create. All right, and you'll notice that immediately we get like a plain vanilla interface with none of that fancy stuff that we saw on the other one. So I think what we can do to start out with is go ahead and copy over the .obsidian directory. I'm not sure what will exist in here so far. Might be able to just do a straight up overwrite. Oh yes, and let's also start our next Pomodoro. We got it going on, cool. And now our current one is in Dropbox, so, or the vault that I had opened and had been configuring before is in Dropbox. So let's go over there. There it is. There's the Obsidian directory. I'm just going to take everything here. Oh, this looks like this might be a backup file. Conflicted appearance. Okay, yeah. Let's not copy that, but let's copy everything else and drop it. Cancel. That's not what I meant to do. Let me. Oh goodness! What just happened? Stop! Weird. Okay, well, it looked like it might have worked. There was some weird error messages there. I'm gonna go ahead and close the vault right now, and if Obsidian will let me, and then open it back up. So close that window. Let's go back to that, open another vault window, and let's open this one, which is the one that's in iCloud. No file is open. Let's see, if I go to at least community plugins, there should be a list of plugins. Oh man, okay, that was not what I expected. Let's try that again. So I think I might have canceled it in the middle anyway, particularly some of the things that needed to be replaced. So let me go ahead and hit Command C this time, and then I'll come over here and hit Command B and try to overwrite it. Oh yeah, this looks better. So yes, apply to all, replace. All right, now over to Obsidian. Close this window and open it again. Do you trust the author of this vault? You're opening this vault for the first time. Trust author and enable plugins. That sounds right. Hey, hey, this is looking good. You'll notice over here on the left, there's no files, but we have this nice, papyrus colored background and a bunch of plugins installed. So good deal. Looks exactly the same. Kind of nice that Obsidian uses this dot file convention for settings. It'll make it really easy for me to back up those settings to my GitHub and make it part of my overall dot files and such. All right, cool. So we're going to, at this point, we are going to close the Obsidian vault that is in Dropbox, just so we don't get confused about which one is which, because they're going to look really similar from now on. And we have this one that doesn't have any files in it. So the very first thing we'll need to do, let's go check our instructions. Before importing, export them as that. don't forget about archive notes. Now, when all your notes are in a local folder, you can open them as an Obsidian vault. Okay. So I think what we'll probably want to do is, but it says don't group attachment folders yet. I'm not sure what that even means. I guess it's saying don't do this step that was in this Obsidian forum post, which I guess we won't do. Move attachment folders. So maybe we'll just copy the files for now and then see what the next step is. So there should be a, whoops, the file's called bear export, 2022, boom, all right. So let's sort this file by list and then by type or kind, great. And then now we will just grab all of these guys, copy, and then jump over to iCloud Drive, Obsidian, Jess Martin. Whoa, I somehow doubly nested this. All right, let me move it back to right there. Oh yeah, and you can't delete the thing. Okay, silly. Jess Martin, copy. And then I'll move this to there and delete this folder called Jess Martin copy. Now we got it, all right. Now paste 1,119 items. Go, go, go. I wonder if this is like gonna kill my upload speed, which is gonna like make it really hard for y'all to follow along for a second, because I don't have tremendous upload at this beach house, and right now it is uploading a lot of stuff via iCloud right now. Upload is always the weakest link. All right, let's see, still going. Wait, this is just saying preparing to copy. We're not even using any bandwidth yet. Chugga, 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 chugga. Well, I think before it even prepares to copy, we should already be able to see things in Obsidian. I'm gonna do a force reload. Whoa, that was weird. Oh, right, because I moved the vault. So let me remove this list. Yep, that makes sense. So we want to open a folder as vault. Obsidian, Jess Martin, open. Trust and enable. Also, indexing is happening right now. Interesting, some functionality may not be available. I wonder why it's only indexing 769 things when there are 1,119 of them. That is weird. Indexing is complete. Okay. Let's see. Alrighty. Well, there's a bunch of files in here. I don't know if they're all in here or not. Is there a way for this to tell me how many notes I have? I'm sure there is. Let's see. How many notes in Obsidian? Where is note count in Obsidian? Try that again. Let's see if the file is, or files are still being prepared to copy. They are. I'm not exactly sure what that means. So this would be, these files are now copied into iCloud. Oh, here we go. Down here at the bottom, this says preparing to copy, but it's actually still copying. So it's probably, you guys won't be able to see this number. Let me move it up. One of 964 selected, 970, 975. All right, so it's actually uploading right now, even though this says preparing to copy. And they're not quite done yet. So I would expect that when that finishes, we would probably have the right number in Obsidian, and we might even have indexing will probably need to run on those other ones. So that's why it said 700 and something, because it actually only had 700 at this time, at that time. It's like we're at 1,000, so we're almost there. I wonder if it copies the smallest files first, or if it just does it by name. 1,000 files, almost to 1,100. 1091, 1098, 1107, 1114, and 1120. What? Oh, right, because there's a .obsidian directory. Cool, so those should have all copied. And now this thing is saying it's weird. All right, again, you guys might be getting tanked on the upload, we'll see. While that's happening, I want to read about how to do the attachments folders. Okay, so move attachments folders to a separate folder. Create attachments or any other name folder. Set this folder as default for new attachments in settings. Move all bare folders with attachments to this new folder. To make this simpler, you could do this in the native Explorer Finder. Path to this setting in Obsidian is in the settings, files and links, default location for attachments. Let's go look at that. So settings, files and links, default location for new notes. Looks like it says important, this step should be done after opening the folder as an Obsidian vault. Another way these links, any other way the links won't update. All right, we'll move all of the bare folders with attachments to this new folder. Okay, so I guess I'll try to follow the directions as they're telling me. Saying that this is like 4.2 megs that are about to get uploaded to iCloud, so it could be that finally the upload is happening. I'm not exactly sure. I don't use iCloud for, well, for a lot, and so I'm not sure why this is like, I mean, clearly it's copied on my local drive, like the duplication happened on my local hard drive. How and why that gets propagated up to iCloud, I'm not sure. It's a lot less transparent than like Dropbox, which is really explicit about what's getting copied and when. All right, let's go ahead and create our new folder while we're waiting for iCloud to do its thing. I think I can maybe right click in here and create file new or file new folder. There we go. Attachments is what we'll call it, because why not? Oh, looks like it says that has completed. So we have copied everything over. Now we want to grab, this is actually going to be a lot more stuff, like a lot more stuff. Kind of concerned about this actually. Yeah, so this is going to be 209 megs that are going to get uploaded. You know, I think the upload here is okay. 209 megs might not kill it. Let's just try it. So we're going to copy these over to attachments now. But what we did see was a very, very long copy for, what was that, like 4 megs? But it was 1,200 files. So maybe, yeah, we'll see. All right, great. We got them all over there. Now we want to say in Obsidian that we want to select that folder to create new in before attachments. There we go. Alrighty, I think we've followed their directions. Whoa, it worked. Holy smokes. That was quick. I just happened, I don't have notes in all of the things that I write in. And this is actually an interesting one. Anyway, I don't have pictures or images or attachments in a lot of the notes that I use. So I'm surprised I just happened to have one selected here, which is from 2017, 5 years ago. And this one's interesting because these notes I actually took on an iPad. I bought an iPad Pro with a pencil, the original pencil, Pencil 1, before Pencil had a version number. And I was taking notes inside of Bear to see how that felt, like handwriting those notes inside Bear. And needless to say, like the in conclusion was, it needs some work. Like palm cancellation wasn't great. In fact, I wrote up like a whole thing on why the iPad Pro experiment, about like what worked, what didn't work, and that kind of stuff. But nifty doodle, like this note already, as soon as we copied those folders in and we specified the attachments directory, they loaded automatically, and here they are, which is pretty fantastic. Glad that worked so easily. Really did not expect it to be that easy. All right, so if attachments are working, let's go click around in other few places where I know there are attachments. Like, let's see, Mediums, I think, has one. Yeah, there you go. Tools and body mediums to enable a workflow within a context. I drew like this little like diagrams to help me think about my ideas around these different words and how they relate to each other. Content, workflows, tools, mediums, environments, technology. And there it is. Awesome. Okay, so that is encouraging that that attachment stuff went that quickly. I figured that would be one of the things we'd have to spend a fair amount of time on. All right, so now we need to look at bare specific links, fixed broken links. There are a couple places where I've used like deep bare links into like link to specific headers and things like that. So let's go see if we can find those really quickly. Let's do a search for the bare application code. Okay, this is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's like only 8 locations where I did this. Not bad. So let's see, over here. Do I have the DevMel statement of work in here? I do, okay. Then let's go to that thing, and I think I can replace this with a double, whoa. D to E, whoops, that didn't work. Whoa, my Vim shortcuts are not working the way I expect. So we'll do it without Vim for now. Delete these and add some double brackets around that and save. And now this thing should link over to the DevMel statement for work, which it does. Cool. All right, close that up. That one's done. Okay, Lambda School, August 2020. Or, whoops, keep hitting BS because I'm so used to that. All right, so it looks like this is from August 2020. Remember how I was saying I have monthly notes, and those monthly notes have daily notes embedded in them. So this would be a self-reflection that I did on my performance. Do I have 2 copies of this note? It certainly looks like it. Oh, file name cannot contain any of the following characters. It's like I had some illegal characters. Whoopsie. Interesting. All right, well, let's go. I guess I was saying that I would find these quickly if they existed. Let's go over to Finder and to these, self-reflection. Whoops. Drag this over to expand it. Is Dash an illegal character? What? No way. No ways. Yeah, this all looks fine. I don't know what the deal is with this character. And there's only one of them. I am confused. Oh, there's a colon. That's why. All right. Yes, colons are bad. Definitely want to avoid those. It looks like there might be one under sales as well. There, that sales slash. All right. Why it's showing me the colon version of this as well when it clearly doesn't exist on, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's because there's like a deep link to that, that thing, or, yeah, I'm really not, that's very strange. All right, so complete self-reflection. I'm just gonna change this to be a link, a wiki link to self reflection. That one. Did I get it right? Whoops, way too many of those things. Okay. Okay. It's going to take a little while to get these keyboard shortcuts down, but now this properly links to self-reflection : Okay, good deal. I'm curious whether self-reflection continues to show up. It does with a colon. I'm not sure what that's about. All right, there's a couple other instances of bear links. Let's go ahead and replace those with that. Gosh, this is very old. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to like double escape in order to get out of that mode. Write up a user's guide for Jess Martin. I did that as well. By the way, if y'all haven't written a user's guide for yourself, it's pretty kind of really fun practice and very helpful for there we go. All right, that should go to the user's guide. It does. Cool. Almost done here. We've got, oh, this is where I was actually deep linking into. So this is actually a feature I really want. Is you'll notice on this day in particular, I was this is back in April. I was onboarding at Fission, and some of the things that I needed to do was sync with Boris, sync with Brooke, and after I had synced with those folks, you can see that these are kind of like to-do items here. Actually, I'm curious why they're not showing up as to-do list items. Shouldn't Obsidian render these? Like the rendering on this looks funny to me right now. I guess I'm in reader mode or something. This is one of the things that bugged me about Obsidian, is that there's a difference between writing and reading, the different modes, and I'm not even sure how. I thought my goal in customizing the appearance of Obsidian was to make reading and writing look as close to the same as possible, so that I didn't have to care which mode I was in. Current view editing. Okay. There we go. I don't even know how to switch between those two. Toggle reading view. Okay, so it's Command E. Weird. Okay, so yeah, in this particular, what I was hoping to do is be able to deep link into headings within specific notes. So these are my notes from my conversation with Boris. And I'd love to be able to like deep link into a conversation that Boris and I had. Cool. Okay. Well, I will go through and replace these last few things later. Not that interesting for you guys to like watch. Kind of boring. So let's move on to the next thing. When you finish with the bare links, you can start to fix links to non-existent files. Ooh, interesting. This is actually pretty helpful. Like, I'd love to be able to. I wonder if I've linked to things that don't exist anymore. That actually is a pretty interesting. How do I quickly close the sidebar? I mean, toggle left sidebar. I mean, there's no keyboard shortcut for it? What? Left sidebar, toggle left sidebar. How about Command B? Is that used yet? Command B. Yep, it is used. Toggle bold. Okay, how about Command Shift B? There we go. Does anybody remember what it is in VS Code? Like, what's the command? Oh yeah, so Million Grad asks a self-user guide. I kind of teased that, and I realized I should have said more about it. So something that I find is super helpful is writing up like a little bit of information about how to work with, like giving people an introduction to you that is practical for them in working with you. So if you go to my website and go to writings, there is I believe, a link. It's linked from here. Research notebook. Yeah, I really need to reorganize this. There is a user guide for Jess Martin. And so what this is supposed to do is help you to understand a little bit about me. So everything from the things that I like, so you kind of get like a little bit of a flavor for what kind of person I am, but also like the things that I'm good at, the things, how I work best, activities that I enjoy, things that I'm terrible at doing, like don't ask me to do this because I'm going to be really, really bad at it. And then also like, how can you help me to be effective? So this is like, if I'm in a workplace and I'm working alongside coworkers, these are probably things that would be helpful for them to know about me. For example, like dialogue. As a verbal processor, I value regular working check-ins to think through a project and direct my efforts. If you're watching this live stream and you're surprised that I'm telling you that I'm a verbal processor, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, so these are things, and like even knowing that there are things that affect me negatively, and it's not that these things can be eliminated, but being aware of these as a coworker and a manager and that kind of stuff can be really helpful. And so I've found these to be really helpful when I've had coworkers who have like introduced themselves to me and then said, hey, here's a little user guide about kind of the way that I work and stuff like that. I've found it super helpful. Glad you asked that, Andy. Yep, so write it up, share it with your coworkers. It can be helpful. And yeah, there you go. So there was one other thing. Also, where are we on our tomato timer? Whoa, like, I guessed 25 minutes. So one of the funny things about working in Pomodoro timers or Pomodoros is that you eventually start to get a feel for how long 25 minutes of work feels like, and your body starts to acclimate to that. It's kind of like writing tweets. If you write too many tweets, you start to get a feeling for how much 140/280 characters is, and you start to think in 140 character sized thought bubbles. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. We are now 2 Pomodoros into our 4 Pomodoros for this Coding with Jess session, coding from beautiful Curie Beach, North Carolina. I'm going to take a 5-minute break, enjoy the sights, flush my brain for a second, and then we'll come back to finishing this Bear to Obsidian migration. We've made tremendous progress in the amount of time. I think we'll probably be able to move on to some of the more interesting things, which would be being able to like Command S and like have some publishing stuff trigger automatically from my notes, which would be pretty cool, and I think also maybe useful or interesting to y'all. So enjoy your break, grab a fun drink if you haven't done already, and I will see you in 5 minutes. All right, welcome back to Coding with Jess in beautiful Curie Beach, North Carolina, where we are working on migrating my Bear app setup to Obsidian. Here's a little view of the beach which I'm having off to my left here, and yeah, it's been a good session so far. We made a lot of progress with the migration, which I was actually kind of surprised about how quickly things were going, which is pretty fun. And we're actually at a really interesting point. This morning when we started this session, we jumped into Bear, and I had made like a couple of lists, or like a couple of items that we talked through about how I used my Obsidian setup, my Bear setup, and how I wanted to use Obsidian. And then we made a to-do list of things we were working on today, and then we did a migration. And so now that to-do list that we made in Bear is now available in Obsidian. So I figured it'd be a great, appropriate place to start by jumping into that note in Obsidian and checking off some of those things that we've gone through in this first 2 Pomodoros. We're also going to start another Pomodoro. We have basically 1 hour left of this 2-hour work block. So thanks for hanging out. Feel free to jump into the YouTube chat if you have questions or anything like that, and I will try to keep an eye on that as well. All right, so without further ado, back to Pomodoro. Start 25 minutes on the clock, and let's get going. So I mentioned that we're going to jump into Obsidian. I've been working in monthly logs for quite a while. So there's my September log, and you can see I've got some things in here. So we did a fresh migration of notes from Bear to Obsidian. We migrated images and attachments from Bear. And now the next thing we need to check out is our Alfred / Raycast quick note search. So as you've probably seen already today, one of my most common keyboard shortcuts is Command spacebar BS space, which allows me to search free text search all of my Bear notes, and it organizes the results by most recently edited. Which is really, really helpful. I want to be able to do the same thing with Obsidian. And so I can't remember if I did try setting up one of these things. I did try setting up a quick search thing about a month or 2 ago, and for Obsidian, just to make sure that it had the same ergonomics as the Bear one, because it's a really important part of my workflow, is to be able to quickly open a note and edit it. And I think it was Alfred that I did, but it might have been Raycast. I have both of those installed on at least on my main machine, and I think on this one as well. Well, I guess if I don't have Raycast, which I don't, then that probably answers our question. It's probably an Alfred. So let's go to the Alfred preferences and see what we've got. It looks like Alfred 5 is available if we wanted to upgrade, but workflows, there we go. Shimmering Obsidian. Workflow incompatible. This workflow uses the workflow user configuration feature only available from Alfred 5. Okay. We may be doing a quick upgrade to workflow Alfred 5 here. I've been debating about moving from Alfred over to Raycast, Raycast being, the new hotness, and I've been using Command, does anybody remember Quicksilver? I've been using Command spacebar type stuff for a long time. There was a thing called Quicksilver way back in the day for like Mac OS 7 maybe. So this is like before Mac OS 10. And so have migrated between several of those systems as they have changed over time. And my wondering was whether Alfred was going to continue to keep up with the pace of innovation that Raycast has brought, or whether we're going to be looking at like migrating to Raycast now. I've gotten a lot of value out of Alfred, and I think what I'll probably do right now is just go ahead and upgrade Alfred to 5, give them my monies, and yeah, move on. Let's see. So let's see. Enter your license to see your options. All right. So I'm going to quickly switch the code over to. Yeah, Brent said Quicksilver was phenomenal, and it did run on OS X. Some of the graphic tricks they pulled were so fun when opening and closing the command palette. It's been neat to see how much I've been thinking a lot actually about how the idea of sort of a quick finder application or like quick reference to the thing that you want right underneath your cursor, like whatever you're referring to, is really an interesting concept. And so, yeah, I've been playing with a new tool called Mackie. I'll show you guys this in just a second. Let me get this upgrade thing done. Click that. Click that. Yep, my name is Jess Martin. No, don't sign me up for that. Yes, take my monies. No, don't show the entire internet my credit card information. And let's see, 27526. Yeah, I think, in short, I think there's a lot more that we could do with the notion of like a quick finder, or quickly bring to mind or bring to bear information that is stored on your computer or that it relates to your history. And I've been thinking along the lines of like a copy paste or clipboard type mechanism that would store much more than just the things that you've copied. So I don't know, maybe that's something that I end up getting to work on pretty soon, but that would be pretty fun. Let's see. Okay, so I just did the upgrade to Alfred. I'm going to go ahead and close Alfred and bring it back up again. You guys should hopefully be seeing my desktop. Yep, there we go. Cool. And yeah, Andy mentions that the clouds behind me are looking quite scary. I hadn't noticed. Let me, I'm curious. Let me see what they look like on camera real quick. Those clouds behind you, scary looking. They look beautiful, Andy. I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, and really, actually, the setup so far for live streaming here has been pretty great. I'm pretty satisfied with it. I was telling somebody at work today that I was kind of feeling nervous about this live streaming setup, but it has gone pretty well. So thankful for that, and thankful for you guys for hanging out. All right, so we're looking at Alfred again, and I just upgraded. Oh, I guess I need to download that new software, don't I? Let's go ahead and do that really fast. And one of the things I'm surprised about is I definitely tested out this workflow a few months ago, and my understanding was that one of the downsides of Alfred is that the plugins for Alfred don't automatically upgrade. So I'm curious that this one seems to now require Alfred 5 when it didn't require Alfred 5 like a couple months ago when I was using it, which is strange. Or maybe I was using the beta. I'm not exactly sure. All right. Alrighty, so let's open Alfred 5. Yep, we're gonna open this thing, begin setup. Oh, all right, let me switch back to not showing you guys my entire license for this. Activate. Oh, I wonder if they're gonna send me a new license. Hold on just a second, guys. Checking my emails for it. Do 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 do. Also, my chat has gone away on the left over here, so I'm pulling that back up again. View live in control room. Hopefully, it'll come back up in just a second. Weird. All right. Okie doke. Opening that. There we go. Chat working again. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Want to make sure that if you guys are chatting, that I can see what was being said. So, okay, let's see. Has Alfred sent me? There we go. They sent me my new license. Let me go put that into Alfred real quick. Hit activate. Woohoo! All right, I'll need to make sure that I remember to put that into 1Password because that's how I handle all this stuff. And close my email and bring it back to the desktop. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm seeing. Looks like you do. And Alfred 5. Now, next step. Okay, let's see. Migrate preferences to Alfred 5. Executing preferences found. Sure. Next step. macOS may ask to quit. Man, all these like new accessibility stuff like, drives me crazy. All the new, the way the permission system works in macOS now just seems like there's got to be a better way. Open macOS full disk access preferences. Let's unlock that. And find Alfred on this list. I don't even see it. I must not have requested it yet. I'm just going to go ahead and add it manually to the list. Quit and reopen. Yep, let's begin setup again. Next step, next step, next step. Contacts access, looks like it already has it. Let's skip this step. Great. All right, installed Alfred. All right, so now back where we were over in Alfred's workflows, and it looks like we have lost our workflows that we had. Horrifying. Okay, let me go to general, and I'm going to change this back to command space, or change this to command space, which is what I prefer. I'm also going to turn off, we do want to launch it at login, but I don't want it to show in the menu bar. I think that's under advanced, maybe. Let's see here. Huh. I would have expected that option to be here, but maybe it's in appearance. Options. Hide menu bar icon. There we go. Cool. And then, yes, and then hide hat on Alfred window. Yep, I don't care about seeing that either. And we'll just do, sure, Alfred modern, whatever. Okay, so we got this set up. Now we're gonna need to reinstall, let's see, it's called, what was it? Shimmering Obsidian. Alfred plugin. And apparently this thing is gonna like require something for Alfred 5. Happy to pay for software that actually does such a great job in making my life better. So that is a happy thing. Please let me give you money. All right, now how do I install this? Shimmering Obsidian downloads. Here's installation. Okay. Workflow installation. This requires the power pack, which I already own. Install the Obsidian plugins, advanced URI, metadata extractor. I'm pretty sure I already installed those. This is why I'm surprised here, because I thought you had to like manually go through this installation process of like downloading this file from yeah, like how did it get upgraded such that it needed, I'm still super confused, that it needed Alfred 5. That's really weird. All right, Shimmering Obsidian is somewhere down here. Let's open that. Productivity, sure. Thanks, Chris Geiser, for all the work that you've done on this, or Greiser. Import. All right. Now, if I hit Command O, space, or OB, there's this thing requires a little more setup, I believe. Let's go find out what we need to do. So we've already done installation. What is configuration? Here we go. Workflow configuration. What? Okay. There's a quick switcher command. I just want quick search, man. Just give me quick search. Alfred-based quick switcher. Note related features, screenshot features, plugin and theme search, backdrops. Yeah, I don't care about any of this. I just want to be able to quickly go to So it looks like I need to click this and then click this button up here, and I'm not even sure why. About this workflow, I've installed it. I've downloaded the latest one. Oh, run the Alfred command, setup, and select the vault you want to control. Okay, good. This is where I got stuck one time. Oh no, I've named them exactly the same thing. Okay, let's go through and rename I was thinking about this earlier while we were working on this at the beginning of the day. Let's go ahead and rename the Jess Martin vault under Dropbox to be Jess Martin dash. Let's see. As columns, which should allow us to go back one. All right, we're gonna name this to Jess Martin, Dropbox, Obsidian vault. Make it super clear what it is, and now we can go setup. Well, that wasn't what we expected. Gosh, do I need to redo the rename here as well? I don't even know if it lets me. This open another interface is really weird. Rename, here we go. Okay, so this is gonna be Jess Martin, Obsidian, Dropbox, Vault. Of course it fails to rename because I've already all right, we're just gonna remove it. Okay, now I wonder if that will cause setup to only show one thing. It does. Let's hit return. Okay, so we should now be configured for using Obsidian. Whoa. Why did it open another window? Or maybe it opened the window for the first time, I'm not sure. There we go, search Obsidian Vault, sweet. September 2020 review, except that's not what I wanted, September 2022. Okay, that's pretty nice. Let's see, explorable explanations. Is there a way to open them in? Okay, so right now this is good in the sense that I can hit Command space bar O space and then quickly get a list. Right now they're not ordered by most recently edited, but we've kind of lost our edit history. When we moved things out of Bear and created them as files, I doubt that it created appropriate created at and updated at dates. They're probably all new files with created at and updated at today. And so Obsidian has no idea when I recently edited these things, which if you think about it is kind of a bummer. Like when the metadata about when I edited specific notes and when I originally created them is actually really important. And I wonder if there's a way to recover that data. Well, let's go through and see if my hunch is correct that we don't actually have access to it anymore. So far, the Obsidian plugin seems to be operating the way I would expect it to. Let's go to the file where we pulled all these things in, which was like Bear, export, super, final, forever, final. Oh, okay, well this is kind of nice. If you notice the date modified column here, we're actually seeing that the Bear exporter actually did write to the date modified, the correct thing, the correct modification date, which should have gotten copied over, I think. Well, let's go look at the vault. Jess Martin would be the vault name, which is there. Let's see, they also have the correct modified date and created that date. Okay, cool. So maybe I'm wrong in the sense that we know Obsidian should be aware of the modification date and created at date for all of these items. Let's go toggle the right sidebar over here and see if there is that something you can view? Backlinks, characters, words. Oh man, I have so much to learn. Guys, I really hate migrating between pieces of software. The retraining for me as a user is really frustrating. That's why I've been really working to try to make Obsidian as close to Bear as possible. Not because Bear is the be-all, end-all, but because my body is trained to do the things in Bear. Looks like our environment our Obsidian Vault searcher is working correctly. Let's go back over to September 2020 where we had our setup Alfred thing. Let's add a little more detail here of, see how bad it's going to be to edit things in using Alfred 5 with Power Pack to get some extra features. Was there anything else we hated about the setup so far? Let's see. Would prefer search results should be sorted by most recently edited. Let's make that yeah, it's working pretty good. Okay, cool. Sometimes I have to hit like escape twice, but to get out of Vim mode and get out of edit mode, I think. I'm not exactly sure. But all in all, that's working pretty good. Let's go just really quick while we're thinking about the shimmering Obsidian and see if it has anything around sorting the Finder by date, because that would be, or date modified, because that would be really helpful. Alfred base quick switcher, heading levels, merging nested tags, open after appending. When appending to a note, the note will automatically be opened afterwards. No, don't really care about that. I don't usually append using Alfred. I just want to open it. When using the OT, so that must be Obsidian tag search. So like OT, inbox. I don't even know what I have in the inbox. Anything? Writing. Oh, you hit return and then it gives you a list of things that are in the right. Okay, cool. I probably won't use that much, so I'm not too worried about it. Oh goodness, template note path, use quick add. All right, let's see, date. Actually modified would be the, or updated, or created. That's new note location. I guess one thing we could look at would be search within this repository. I don't know if you've seen how you can actually, modified, you can use GitHub to search within a repository. Looks like they don't have anything about it modified. How about updated? Nothing that looks promising. And then, yeah, sort maybe would be the other thing to search by. Interesting. This might be harder than we wish it would be. All right, well, rather than digging that right now, we should be coming up on the end of our Pomodoro. We got 3.5 minutes left. I am going to skip that and let's look at making sure that files sync between devices. So I guess I could plug this in to my iPhone and then have you guys watch this in real time. I don't know if that would be even interesting. Yeah, I guess we could do that next, and you could see how the editing works on iPhone. So we'll do that after I get back from the Pomodoro. So then how to organize to-dos automatically by week would be another thing. All right, well, one of the things I'm not exactly sure is how I'm going to use the daily notes setup in Obsidian. How and if I'm going to use the daily notes setup. Actually, I also want to, whoops, minimized that. Are there other Obsidian's windows open? Oh, okay, right-clicking on that gives me that. All right, so I'm going to go add a hotkey real quick for closing the right window. Toggle right sidebar. Let's make that Command-Shift-R, and that allows me to quickly close that, which will be helpful. All right, so I think we're good. So toggling between view and edit mode still does introduce some like spacing differences. I tried to minimize these as much as possible, but it was frustrating to do so. And this has more to do with Markdown than anything else, as opposed to like the way that Obsidian handles things. It's because when you render Markdown, you're getting like a very different representation than you have inside of a text editor when you're editing Markdown. They're close enough, I think, though, that I'm going to be able to just let it go. And I think the tweaking that I did to make Obsidian look like Bear feels pretty good. And a couple things I still don't understand would be like, do I want to use this sliding panes thing to be able to, or do I just want to open new windows? Oh, that was one of the things that bugged me. Open a new window. Okay, nice. You do have open a new window. Yeah, I do want to have that option. That feels like a relatively recent thing. I think I was running into problems around that a while back. I'm noticing some weirdness around the formatting here. Huh. Okay. All this looks pretty good. Why is the tag so flippin' small here at the bottom? That might be a formatting thing that I need to fix. Okay, but then I can close windows. So I can open things in new windows pretty easily. I can open things in new tabs. We'll have to decide how we want to do that. We are at the end of our Pomodoro. We have now done 2 Pomodoros, and we have mostly completed the migration from Bear over to Obsidian. I think in order to prevent me from using Bear, I'm actually going to have to delete the entire application from my Mac, because my instincts are so ingrained to use that. One thing that we have already done is by upgrading to Alfred 5, I've lost the Bear shortcut to open notes, which I use all the time, which is gonna be good because it's gonna force me to retrain from BS to O and use it that way. Great, so we're 2 Pomodoros in, we've got 2 Pomodoros left. I'm going to take a 5-minute break, and I'll be back in 5, and we will wrap it up with our next Pomodoro. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. All right, welcome back to Coding with Jess, where you code along with me while I build a thing. Today we've been working on moving my Bear notes collection over to Obsidian. And I've been working from beautiful Curie Beach, North Carolina. Here's the view out to my left. And yeah, it's been fun. We've been at this for 3 pomodoros so far. So about an hour and a half. We have 1 pomodoro remaining. So 1 more 25-minute work block, and we're going to see what we can get done in that block. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I was definitely skeptical about how well this would work streaming from the beach for so many reasons. But so far it's been a lot of fun, and I think I'll try it again in the future whenever we make trips down here. So without further ado, let us get back to where we were and work on finishing up with this session. All right. So I've been talking with Casper in the chat about having 2 systems, having 1 system, sort of like the downsides, the pros, the cons to that approach. And I just wanted to recap some of that conversation because it might be helpful for some of you who are thinking through this. Casper was mentioning, like, why not just maintain a Bear application and an Obsidian application? Why have 2 separate things to begin with? And I think the real reason for me is, as I mentioned to him in the chat, is that I really want a very clear, like, a place for everything and everything in its place. And for me, this eliminates one level of friction when it comes to writing and finding things, which is the where does this go? Of like, I have an idea, where do I put it? Or where did I put that thing? So there's like 2 levels of friction here. One is as I'm creating a thing, I'm thinking about the thing that I want to create, but where do I actually put that in my sort of collection of things that I have? And that, I feel like that mental overhead of deciding how I want to categorize it, where I want to put it, and that kind of stuff kind of slows me down and makes me feel less fluid in capturing the thoughts that I have as I'm working. And then the other side is when I have captured something and I need to go back to it, where was it again? So having like a single repository that has like a single unified interface that allows me to get to it has been really transformative for me. And I've been using this setup for like about a decade now. Like you might have noticed today that we migrated a little bit over 1,100 notes, and some of those are, thousands of words long that I've accumulated over time. So that's kind of the why behind like why not maintain Obsidian and Bear, because then I'd always be thinking of like, wait, does this go in Obsidian? Does this go in Bear? Where does this go? Like, where did I put it? Do I have to search this, search that? So having one system is really important to me. Now, that being said, something Casper mentioned that I want to give credit to is that there are different modes of working. And sometimes when we're in a different mode of working, we want an entirely different tool for working. So for example, when I'm coding, I don't actually want to code inside of Obsidian. There's a different mode when I'm creating an artifact using software, using programming. And VS Code is sort of my tool for that now. Going back a few years, it was Sublime, and before that it was TextMate, and before that it was probably, I don't even remember. What was that old beastly Java IDE that I used for your Eclipse? So I mean, I've used various tools for that as well. But again, I totally agree with Casper that that sometimes the mode of what you're doing influences the tool that you want to do it in. But mostly the mode of like what I'm doing in Bear and in Obsidian now is quick capturing and crafting and referring to thoughts that I've had in the past, and then creating sort of this interlinked knowledge base, which I can show you a little bit of in just a minute here. Cool. So I think I started I forgot to start a tomato timer. So 25 minutes on the clock, back to it, cancel that, and we are gonna get back to where we were. So in Obsidian, I mentioned that we need to make sure that files are syncing between devices, because I actually do some work on my iPhone for my notes. And so I thought instead of just kind of doing that off screen, I would actually do that and show you guys what that looks like. So Cool, so I've just opened Obsidian, and right now it says no file is open, so we're gonna go ahead and go to file, I guess? I'm not even sure. Oh, okay, I need to open a new note vault. So right now we're in the old test vault, which should have gotten, oh, I guess it's deleted on the desktop. Not deleted, but forgotten on the desktop. Okay, looks like we have a new access to a new vault here called Jess Martin. I think that's the one that we want to open. So let's go ahead and hit enter vault. Waiting for synchronization, all right. Do you trust? Yes, I trust the author of this device. I just tapped trust author and enable plugins, and it is going beastly slow, so that might actually be, not sure what's up with that. Trust. So I'm gonna guess that it's actually doing some work and just not showing me what it is doing while it is working. So we'll set that aside while that's working, and we'll come back to that in just a second. And what we're hoping to see is we really want to be able to make an edit in one place and see that edit quickly reflected somewhere else. There's never going to be a case right now in my current workflows where I'm editing something on the desktop and editing something on my phone at the exact same time. So even though there's some lag in the synchronization for iCloud and Dropbox and other synchronization systems, and there's no CRDT or like conflict resolving system in between those, and we could end up with conflicts, it's very unlikely. And so even when I was using Bear, which doesn't have any kind of conflict resolution, I very rarely ran into conflicts. So hopefully, as soon as this syncs, we'll be able to demonstrate typing in one place, seeing it update in the other, and then I'll feel really good that I've like replicated the functionality that I had in Bear in Obsidian today. Yeah, we weren't able to sort search results by most recently edited. Hopefully that'll play out over time. I'm not exactly sure how this Obsidian plugin thingy is sorting things, but hopefully we'll figure it out over time. All right, look into how to organize to-dos automatically by week would be the next thing. Actually, the thing I think we also need to look into is how am I going to do daily notes? So, as most of you know, or many of you know, there is a daily notes system inside of Bear. So, or sorry, inside of Obsidian already. So if I click open today's daily note, apparently that takes me to a daily note with today's title in it. So I could actually go to, let's see, sorry, I'm still using that BS, which is Bear Search. Okay, so today we have, this is today's daily note, so I'm going to yank that and go over to, whoa. Did the daily note get created in the wrong spot or something? Looks like it did. Okay, let me see. I must have configured something wrong. Let's see. Files and links. Folders to create new notes in. When newly created notes are... Wait. Oh no. I think I did something wrong here. How about vault folder? And let's make sure that didn't break our attachments directory. Okay, so then I'll need to move the daily note up a directory. Move file to /, there we go, maybe that did it. And then I think we were in like one of these 2017 notes that had some, yeah, there we go. Okay, so attachments are still working. We're good there. And then today's daily note would be that, okay. And then I should be able to hit Command V, or not Command V, whoops, P, which gives us today's daily note. Okay, that is not awful. But what if I want to Obsidian scroll through daily notes? Yes, that's exactly what I want to do right there. This. Let's see. Discussed here in document spanning. Notice that these forum posts are from October of 2020, so that's not necessarily encouraging. Workaround. Let's go to the very bottom of this and see if there's anybody talking about some later. Okay, 28 days ago, the Daily Notes Viewer plugin. All right, let's take a look at that. All right, that looks reasonable. And it is last updated, 62 commits. Let's see if it's got any issues. Viewer takes all vault notes in this format if daily note folder is not set. So I could set a separate folder and it would use those things as my daily notes. Yeah, so the use case here, remember we talked about this at the very beginning of this call, or this live streaming session. Right now, I keep my daily notes in subdivided by month. And what I'd love to be able to do, and the reason I do that is it allows me to like quickly scroll through, scroll from like the previous day to the next day, which is actually really useful to be able to like copy things around, move things over, see what I did the day before, sort of have that ambient awareness of the things that were happening the day before. I'd love that same ability here, and it looks like this would give it to me, and I suppose there's no harm in trying it. So let's do that over here in preferences under community plugins. We can, this is search installed plugins. Here we go. Browse community plugins. So this is Daily Note Viewer. If I could spell viewer right, we'd probably end up in a better place. There we are. Daily Notes Viewer. Let's do an install here. So the Daily Notes plugin has been enabled. Okay. So now there should be, I guess, a new page called Viewer. Is that right? Viewer. Huh. That's the way it looked in this screenshot here. Daily Notes, and then there's a thing called Viewer. Do I have to create a note called Viewer? Let's see. Oh, I got to turn it on. Okay, it's on now. And now we have a thing called Viewer. Aha! All right. Cool. So this gives me. Whoa. Okay. Cool. So, zoinks. It looks like it's like a transclusion thing, which is not exactly what I want. I guess I should have taken it literally that this is actually a Daily Note Viewer and nothing else really. If I hit O Viewer, so transclusion is awesome, except that I want to be able to edit inside this transclusion. Sorry, I'm using this word transclusion as if everybody's familiar with it. So what it's doing right now is taking the contents from each one of my daily notes, just the contents, and it's inserting them into this note. And the way that it does that is using this syntax where, oh my gosh. Hello? Okay. Where it's bang, and then the name of a note, like that, tuning my tools, and then it immediately inserts the content of that. Now the problem with transclusions, the problem with that sort of like embedding of notes in Obsidian is that you can't edit inside that note without opening that note up. So that's not exactly what I want from this behavior. So this might be something where I'm kind of screwed. I mean, they made it clear that it's a viewer file, not an editor file, and so that could be, it's doing what was advertised, that's for sure, but is a little bit frustrating in that it does not give me the actual behavior that I had in Bear, where I could actually copy things between between notes, which is a little bit frustrating. Let's go make a note of that. So September, let me go ahead and close that sidebar over there. That thing gets in the way, doesn't it? Also, I'm not sure that I'm going to love the sliding panes thing. Haha. Sorry about that, Casper. And folks, I just had unplugged my headset had come unplugged from my little transceiver there. Sorry about that. All right, Daily Notes Viewer gives me view, but not the ability to edit inside the transclusion. Yay for back. Hope I wasn't gone too long. All right, great. So we have some ability to do the daily notes thing. I'm not sure I'm going to love that in the same way that I like it in Bear, but something to do. All right, let's go over to QuickTime real quick and see what Obsidian is trying to do over here. So hopefully we'll be able to see things on the phone really quick. Obsidian is indexing the vault. That's great. Chugga, 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 chugga. Indexing's complete. All right, I'm going to hit Trust Author and enable plugins. Hopefully that'll do it. Oh, all right, cool. Get some things click through. All right, nice. It's looking pretty good here. So you'll notice that this is the file we were just editing on the Mac, and it actually has the section that we were editing about. That Daily Notes Viewer gives me view, but not the ability to edit inside of a transclusion. So that looks pretty good. How the heck do I get the keyboard to go away? So something that I used all the time in Bear was swiping down to get the keyboard to vanish. Oh, there we go. Thing on the left apparently does it. Ah, there's the toggle. There's this tiny little thing right there, which toggles between edit and view. Oh man, and if you scroll all the way down, you get the command palette that comes up. That you see it coming up there at the top. Okay, but more or less, this looks like what I expect. If I swipe to the left, I get a list of notes. Let's see if we can get the list of notes sorting by modified time. There we go. That's much better. Cool. And I wonder if that setting automatically populates over here too. Well, it doesn't appear to, but that's okay. We'll set this to modified time as well. Okay, great. So we are now in a pretty good spot. We've got things syncing across devices. Let's go ahead and Command T completes that to-do for us. Let's look into, okay, I think I am pretty tired at this point. We've had just at 2 hours of working on this. We are now, I've basically migrated everything from Bear over to Obsidian with a fairly nice set of settings in Obsidian that I worked on a couple months ago. And so at this point, I think I could probably remove Bear from my system and kind of go all in on using Obsidian. One thing I'll do after this call is I'll also drop a list of the plugins that I am using in Obsidian. I know some people are sometimes curious of like, how is your thing configured? I'll drop that into the show notes for this particular live stream. And yeah, so thanks for joining me on Coding with Jess, where today, instead of coding, we worked on personal note-taking systems inside of Obsidian and Bear. I hope you enjoyed hanging out by the beach with me in Curie Beach, North Carolina. And yeah, hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I'll be back next week in Fuquay from my same old desk setup that you guys have seen many times. So talk to you later.